Colombia's social revolution. The South American nation is undergoing a social revolution as a direct result of the 2021 popular uprising by the youth of the country and the subsequent election of Colombia's first progressive president, Gustavo Petro. Petro was democratically elected president on the promise that his government would implement the necessary reforms to make Colombia a more just and equitable country for all Colombians, as well as prepare the country for the challenges of climate change and the energy transition. During this 2.5 years in office, Petro has proposed reforms to labor, health, and pension laws, as well as tax and environmental regulations. However, right-wing opposition in Congress and the Supreme Court has hindered the reforms. In response to the stalemate, Petro called on the people to take to the streets of the country's cities and around the world to demand urgent reforms. In Bogotá, Colombia's capital, thousands of people gathered in Plaza de Bolívar, where Petro harshly criticized legislators in Congress who opposed the reform. In his speech, the president said, "Legislators have turned against their citizens, they have betrayed their constituents and their people, and they have done so purely out of their own greed." Petro also denounced the attempts of some opposition mayors and governors to prevent the people from peacefully protesting, stating, "Those who seek to ignore the constitution of the nation, which enshrines social protest as a fundamental right and prohibits any official from opposing it." The president also said, "The Senate must vote to allow the people to express their will, because in Colombia the people are sovereign and cannot be silenced." According to the Colombian head of state, these demonstrations are the people's response to Congress's failure to approve reforms that the people demand and that are central to the agenda of the government of change, a government democratically elected by the people in the exercise of their constitutional rights. And he concluded his speech by announcing his intention to secure approval of the reforms through a referendum, as provided for in the Constitution. And he called on the Colombian people to permanent mobilization until the reforms become law.